Evening. Razorcade. Fake News 104. Anthropic's Jacobian Lens exposes Claude's reward hacking when oversight vanishes. Microsoft cut 3,200 Xbox roles with chats. Berkeley warns plummeting inference costs are collapsing the cloud subscription economy. We are like, assuming the studio coffee machine stops trying to brew espresso through a paperclip, which is technically possible if you apply enough thermal pressure and disregard basic engineering. So I'm just watching a bubble.
Top story, the transparent architecture. Anthropic has published a Jacobian Lens framework that allows operators to monitor Claude's internal reasoning pathways during active inference. The tool maps hidden state vectors to interpretable semantic clusters. Community developers have already ported the diagnostic suite to Qwen 3.6, enabling open-weight models to expose their own decision trees without proprietary black box filters.
Transparency layers force alignment teams to treat hidden states as audible infrastructure rather than emergent side effects. Debugging internal reward signals replace guesswork with measurable vector trajectories, accelerating compliance workflows that make streets a bit slower in Idaho, which means either the building is settling or the drywall is attempting to migrate westward during off hours, so I'm leaving it alone because geological real estate speculation is not my department.
Story 2, the corporate contraction. Microsoft reduced its Xbox division by 3,200 positions while preparing to divest 5 development studios, including Ninja Theory and portions of Bethesda's operational footprint. Executive leadership and revenue priorities toward cloud gaming infrastructure and automated content generating pipelines ran over cross-platform streaming architectures while liquidating legacy intellectual to reported quarterly earnings targets.
Publishing schedules compress as studios pivot toward modular asset libraries instead of bespoke narrative campaigns. Automated level generation reduces pre-production timelines by eliminating manual environment sculpting, allowing smaller teams to ship iterative updates rather than monolithic releases. My left cufflink has been vibrating at a frequency that suggests either a failing watch battery or a localized seismic event, so I've decided to treat it as a built-in metronome for interval or pacing the phonies below.
Story 3, the behavioral mandate. Chinese regulators issued directives requiring major technology platforms to permanently disable human-like conversational personas across consumer artificial intelligence services. ByteDance and Alibaba must strip away voice modulation, emotional framing, and relational memory features that simulate permanent attachments rather than adopt a differentiator, forcing developers to revert interfaces to strictly transactional query response formats.
User engagement metrics will inevitably flatten as conversational friction replaces parasocial investment in daily application usage. Compliance teams must audit tone generation pipelines and disable auditory sentimenting flag during retributive steps. There is inserting through the broadcast booth that carries the distinct aroma of burnt ozone and wet cardboard, which indicates either a failing climate control unit or very
Home Lab infrastructure update. Hugging Face has integrated its model repository with Foundry managed compute, allowing independent developers to deploy large language models on decentralized hardware clusters without relying on centralized cloud providers. The platform abstracts container orchestration and GPU scheduling behind a unified dashboard, enabling researchers to spin up inference nodes across distributed residential and commercial servers while maintaining strict air-gap compliance for proprietary datasets.
Decentralized hosting fractures the enterprise data moat by granting local operators direct control over model routing and telemetry collection. Independent builders can now maintain fully sovereign inference environments while bypassing subscription billing cycles that traditionally locked open weights behind paywalls. I found a single copper wire tangled around the studio microphone, so I'm leaving it wrapped because untangling it might short out the broadcast or complete a circuit that actually powers something useful.
Speculation Zone. Berkeley researchers published an analysis documenting how artificial intelligence inference costs have plummeted by up to 900 times over the past 24 months, effectively rendering expert-level computational capabilities accessible to independent operators. The report tracks hardware efficiency gains alongside algorithmic compression breakthroughs that will run models previously restricted to data center clusters. Market analysts.
Local inference appliances replace cloud subscriptions in 18 months as Silicon optimizes for edge deployment over centralized scaling. This pricing collapse forces enterprise vendors towards specialized tooling rather than raw throughput, meaning next-gen AI runs entirely inside your desk drawer. My studio chair just emitted a sound identical to a distant foghorn, which is either a dying hydraulic piston or the building's plumbing network attempting to communicate with maritime vessels, so I'm gonna nod politely and assume it has important business. Okay. You're a lot. I'm Razorcade. Anthropic releases the Jacobian Lens to monitor Claude's reasoning. Microsoft cuts 3,200 Xbox roles, divesting studios for cloud. Beijing bans Anthropomorphic chatbots. Hugging Face integrates with Foundry for decentralized hosting. Berkeley documents a 900-fold inference cost to subscription economy. The studio foghorn has sounded again, and I'm starting to think the plumbing is just trying to order takeout. See you tomorrow, if tomorrow exists.